Hello, my radiant and magnificent Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for remembering the divine royalty that resides within your heart. I am your guide, and if you have found your way to this specific message at this precise moment in your journey, I want you to know with every fiber of your being that this is a divine appointment. The universe itself has orchestrated this meeting. So before we venture any further into this profound truth, I invite you to pause with me. Find a moment of stillness right where you are. Take a deep, sovereign breath in. Feel the golden light of your own power filling your lungs. Hold it for a count of 3. And as you exhale, release any noise, any doubt, any shadow that is not your own. Let your royal shoulders relax. Allow that vast, generous heart of yours to open just a bit wider, because a message of supreme importance is waiting to be delivered directly to your spirit. Leo, have you felt it recently? A subtle yet unmistakable chill in the air, even when you are standing in the full blaze of your own glorious light. It is not the presence of a ghost or a fleeting spirit. No, this is something far more personal. It is the palpable, heavy energy of a masculine presence in your life, a man who carries a deep and searing anger aimed directly at the heart of your kingdom at you. If your soul is stirring in recognition, if your intuition is whispering, "Yes, I know who this is," then make a sacred pact with your own awakening right now. In the comments below, I want you to declare your truth for all the cosmos to witness. Type, "I am the sun, and my light will not be dimmed." Consider this more than a comment. See it as a powerful decree, a sealing of your intention to reclaim your power. And if you have not yet joined our pride here at Cosmic Wisdom, press that subscribe button now. Do not see it as a simple click, but as you taking your rightful place in a circle of souls who are all learning to wear their crowns with grace and courage. You know of whom I speak, magnificent lion. It is the man who offers you applause, but the sound is hollow, echoing with a silent resentment. It is the man who smiles in your direction, but the light of that smile never quite reaches the coldness in his eyes. He speaks your name, perhaps with perfect politeness, but you can feel the sharp, invisible barbs hidden within the syllables, a disguised curse cloaked in civility. Your body, that incredible, intuitive vessel, has already sensed what your generous and trusting heart is still trying to rationalize away. There is a man in your orbit whose spirit is consumed by a visceral, dangerous anger that is pointed like a poisoned arrow directly at your radiance. This is not a new phenomenon, my beautiful friend. This anger has been festering within him like a secret, silent poison. It has been growing in the shadows of his own soul, nourished by every single one of your triumphs. It is fueled by every moment you have effortlessly commanded a room with your natural warmth, while he has felt invisible in your presence. It intensifies with every laugh you share, every creative idea you birth, every ounce of love you so freely give, because it serves as a glaring mirror to the barrenness and chaos within his own heart. His rage was not born from a specific thing you did to him. Oh no, that would be too simple. His rage was born from the very essence of who you are, and that, my powerful Leo, is what makes this energy so treacherous. You cannot apologize for your own light. You cannot extinguish a fire that burns simply because another person is cold. You cannot mend a wound in another's ego that was inflicted long before you ever met them. He watches you, he watches you far more than you could ever imagine. He tracks your movements, your successes, your relationships, not with the eyes of an admirer, but with the cold, calculating gaze of a rival who sees your life as a personal affront to his own. The most chilling part, he conceals it with masterful skill. To the outside world, to the rest of the court, he may appear charming, supportive, even like one of your most loyal allies. But beneath that carefully constructed facade, a war of envy and resentment is raging within him, and you have been cast as his unwitting adversary in a battle you never even knew you were fighting. For a Leo soul, whose very purpose is to shine, to lead with an open heart, and to inspire generosity and joy, being the target of such hidden, intense animosity is one of the most soul-crushing and destabilizing experiences imaginable. It is like the sun being told it is too bright by a creature who has chosen to live in a cave. I know you have been trying to explain away the signs. That backhanded compliment was just a poorly worded joke. That sharp, cutting remark in a meeting was just a misunderstanding of his tone. That time, he accidentally failed to pass on a critical piece of information that led to you missing an opportunity. That was just a coincidence, a simple mistake. But your magnificent body, your royal intuition, cannot be fooled. Your heart pounds a little faster when he enters the room. A knot of tension tightens in your solar plexus when you know you must interact with him. Your sleep, which should be the peaceful rest of a confident ruler, becomes troubled and restless after encounters where his energy has lingered. Listen to me closely, Leo. This is not paranoia. This is not you being dramatic or self-centered. This is your divine internal security system working to absolute perfection. It is the roar of your own soul trying to alert you to a poison that your kind and educated mind, a mind that wishes to see the best in everyone, has not yet fully been willing to acknowledge. There is a unique quality to this kind of masculine anger when it is rooted in envy. It is often silent, but it is always territorial. It is deeply competitive, and it is charged with a desperate primal need to either diminish your light or usurp your throne. And when this shadow is cast upon a Leo, there is a profound and cruel cosmic irony at play. You, the sign of the heart, the embodiment of courage and magnanimous spirit, are the one who most provokes the deepest insecurities in those who feel they lack a powerful inner light of their own. Your innate ability to lead without force, to create joy, to attract loyalty and love, and to shine with an unshakable inner confidence. All of this is like pouring salt into the gaping wound of a man who feels utterly powerless and unseen in his own existence. This man would likely never admit, not even to the deepest parts of himself, the sheer magnitude of his envy for you. The anger he feels is simply his ego's desperate defense mechanism. It is the smokescreen his psyche creates to avoid facing the crushing feeling of inadequacy he experiences in your presence. You do not need to boast. You do not need to flaunt your achievements or demand the spotlight. My dear Leo, your mere presence is the spotlight. The calm authority with which you carry yourself, your ability to turn any gathering into a celebration, the effortless way you inspire others. All of this acts as a flawless mirror, reflecting back to him everything he feels he is not and everything he fears he will never become. For the radiant Leos, born between July 23rd and August 2nd, this shadow figure is likely someone in your innermost circle, a person who should be your staunchest supporter, perhaps a family member, a close friend, or even a romantic partner who secretly resents your light outshining his. For those born between August 3rd and August 13th, This man may hold a position of authority or be a peer in your professional life, someone who uses his title or position to subtly clip your wings and stifle your creative fire. And for the powerful Leos, born between August 14th and August 22nd, this man is most certainly in your wider social or creative circle, a person who masquerades as a friend and collaborator while quietly working behind the scenes to discredit your reputation and claim your ideas as his own. His anger manifests in 1,000 insidious ways. Sometimes it is through criticism disguised as brutal honesty or constructive feedback designed to plant seeds of self-doubt about your natural talents. Other times, it is through the quiet art of sabotage. He will forget to invite you to a crucial meeting. He will speak about you to others with a tone of feigned concern for your arrogance. Or he will create bureaucratic hurdles that seem entirely coincidental, but which your gut knows were placed there with calculated intention. Sarcasm is another of his favorite weapons. He will make jokes at your expense, often in front of an audience, that are designed to subtly undermine your authority and make you look foolish. Then, when he sees the flash of hurt in your eyes, he will quickly accuse you of being too sensitive or unable to take a joke, masterfully flipping the script to make you the problem. The pattern is always the same. He attacks you in ways that are deliberately difficult to prove, in ways that give him plausible deniability, but that you feel deep within your spirit. And if you dare to confront him, if you dare to establish a boundary, he will deny everything, feign outrage, and expertly manipulate the situation until you begin to question if you were the one who was out of line. This, my dear Leo, is the classic cowardly game of a man carrying a shadow he refuses to face, making you doubt the validity of your own perception. As you listen to these words, your mind is already replaying specific scenes, is it not? You are remembering moments where you felt his anger like a tangible cold wave in the room, but you couldn't logically explain why. You are recalling conversations where the words themselves were harmless, but the energy behind them, the resentful subtext, made you feel diminished, attacked, and deeply uncomfortable. You are thinking of the times you have walked away from an interaction with him feeling energetically drained and, dirty, as if you needed to take a spiritual shower to wash away the sticky toxic residue he left clinging to your aura. You may have even turned this inward, wondering if the problem was you. Am I being too arrogant? Am I too loud? Am I taking up too much space? You may have started to believe that you were paranoid, overly sensitive, or simply imagining things that were not there. But let me tell you a profound truth. This is precisely the intended effect of a sustained, covert, energetic assault. We begin to question our own sanity because the attacks are designed to be deniable. They are crafted so that if you ever dare to call them out, you will be the one who looks unstable, not the perpetrator. And perhaps no one in your life has ever truly validated what you have been feeling. Maybe your friends and family, seeing only his charming exterior, have told you that you are overreacting, that he's really a good guy, or that you should just let it go and be the bigger person. But let me be unequivocally clear. Forgiveness does not mean repeatedly offering your heart to someone who sees it as a target. Being the bigger person does not mean shrinking yourself so that another person can feel powerful. And forgetting does not mean ignoring a very real danger that your royal intuition is screaming at you to acknowledge. This may be the very first time that anyone has looked you in the eye and said these words to you. The anger and resentment you feel from this man is absolutely real. You are not imagining it. You are not being dramatic. Your perception is a finely tuned instrument of truth. and you have every divine right to protect yourself, to create distance, to build a fortress around your magnificent heart, and to no longer tolerate any behavior that hurts you simply because it is too subtle for the unenlightened to see. The genesis of this man's anger toward you is invariably linked to the very things you represent that he cannot cultivate within himself. Leo, you possess a cosmic gift for radiating an inner light that is self-sustaining. You find joy not in hoarding power, but in sharing your warmth generously. You build your kingdom on a foundation of courage, creativity, and authentic self-expression. You do not need endless drama to feel alive. Your purpose comes from the very act of living with a full and open heart. This natural radiant contentment is simply unbearable for a soul who lives in a state of perpetual scarcity and dissatisfaction, always grasping for external validation, but never managing to ignite his own inner flame. He sees you so effortlessly, being the center of your own universe, and it infuriates him because he feels like a forgotten planet in a cold, distant orbit. He watches as others are naturally drawn to your warmth and leadership, while he feels he must constantly manipulate and scheme to gain even a sliver of recognition. He sees you living in a state of joy, and he is consumed by his own internal war. And instead of looking at you and feeling inspired to find his own light, he chooses the easier, darker path. He chooses to resent you for shining so brightly. It is far less painful for his ego to blame you for existing than it is to take responsibility for the shadows in his own soul. His anger is also inextricably linked to a desperate need for power and control. Men who carry this unprocessed rage often have an immense intolerance for anyone they cannot dominate or manipulate. And you, my dear Leo, with your sovereign spirit and your unshakable sense of self, are not easily controlled. You know your own worth. You have clear, heart-centered values. You do not compromise your integrity just to appease someone else's fragile ego. You do not bow to tyranny. He sees this quiet, unyielding strength not as integrity, but as a direct challenge to his authority, a rejection of the power he feels he is entitled to have over you. He expected you to be a subject in his kingdom, and when you simply continued to rule your own living by your own golden rules, he perceived it as a profound personal betrayal, as if you were deliberately defying him simply by being your magnificent self. Let me share a deeper, cosmic truth with you. Unprocessed masculine anger is almost always rooted in a profound feeling of inadequacy. Society often programs men with a toxic script. They must be dominant, successful, and emotionally impenetrable. When a man feels he has failed to live up to this impossible standard, he often directs his volcanic frustration not at the flawed system that created the expectation, but at individuals who seem to effortlessly embody the very things he is lacking. And you, magnificent Leo, have become the living, breathing symbol of the radiant confidence and authentic power he has failed to cultivate within himself. Please hear me when I say this situation is far more common than you might believe. Countless Leo souls experience being the target of this specific kind of intense, envious anger precisely because you represent authentic, heart-centered radiance in a world that often rewards hollow appearances. You do not need to do anything to provoke this envy. Your simple, joyful, and powerful existence is more than enough. The real danger here is not just the overt attacks that you can identify and deflect. The true peril lies in the constant, subtle, energetic arrows being fired in your direction, the ones that slowly, imperceptibly begin to erode your inner peace and your trust in your own light. It's how you might start to feel unsafe or uncomfortable in spaces that should rightfully be your stage. It's how you may find yourself beginning to dim your own shine, to hide your accomplishments, to temper your joy, just to avoid triggering his anger. But this, my dear friend, is a fatal trap. When you dim your light to avoid disturbing someone else's darkness, you are not creating peace. You are surrendering your power. You are validating his twisted worldview that your light is the problem. A man like this is not appeased when you make yourself smaller. He does not suddenly respect you. He simply sees it as confirmation that his tactics are working, and it emboldens him to escalate his campaign. The only way to truly handle this kind of toxic shadow energy is through the establishment of firm royal boundaries and, where possible, strategic and unapologetic distance. You cannot heal his anger. That is his sacred and solitary journey to undertake, likely with a therapist or a spiritual guide, if he ever summons the courage to truly face the demons within his own heart. Your only responsibility, your sacred duty, is to protect your own kingdom from the damage his unresolved war inflicts upon the world. Protection for a Leo's soul in this situation involves several crucial layers. First, and most importantly, you must fully and completely validate your own royal perception. Stop asking if you are being too much, and start accepting that if your heart feels a threat, there is a threat even if no one else can see it. Second, you must establish clear, non-negotiable boundaries that are as radiant and unyielding as the sun itself. This may mean reducing contact to the absolute minimum necessary. It means you stop sharing your brilliant ideas, your personal victories, or any vulnerabilities with him that could be twisted and used as weapons against you. Third, you must become a conscious and active protector of your own magnificent energy. Before you enter any space where he might be, I want you to perform a simple, powerful ritual. Close your eyes. Imagine a sphere of brilliant, golden solar light forming around your entire body. See it as an impenetrable shield, a fortress of pure light. Decree that only energies of love, respect, and joy may enter your space, and that all other energies are instantly vaporized upon contact with your radiant shield. You must also understand, on the deepest level, that you will never win this man over by being more brilliant, more successful, or more perfect. His anger is not based on logic. It is not based on your performance. It is based on his own unhealed trauma, his unprocessed emotions, and the wounds to his ego that you did not cause and you cannot heal. Every attempt you make to gain his approval, to prove that you deserve his respect, or to be so flawlessly good that he has no reason to resent you, is an utter and complete waste of your precious creative life-giving energy, because the problem was never, ever you. The moment you truly internalize that his anger is about him, you will be free. It is about the flaws he sees in his own reflection when he looks at you. It is about the creative dreams he abandoned while you continue to courageously build yours. It is about the deep inner peace he cannot find within his own chaotic soul while you seem to cultivate it so naturally. You are simply the mirror he cannot bear to look into because he despises the reflection he sees. In those situations where you must continue to interact with this man for professional, family, or social reasons, your strategy must be one of cool, regal detachment. Do not engage in his petty power games. Do not try to win arguments or score points. Do not, under any circumstances, Give him the satisfaction of an emotional reaction to his provocations. Remain neutral, factual, and as unbothered as the sun is by the barking of a dog on the ground below. This starves his anger of the very fuel it needs to survive your energy. But if you have the option, the beautiful sovereign choice, to completely and utterly remove this man from your kingdom, I implore you to seriously consider it. Your life is far too precious, and your destiny far too bright, to spend it coexisting with energies that seek to drain and diminish you. You deserve to be surrounded exclusively by a court of people who celebrate your brilliance, who are warmed by your light, who respect your generous nature, and who applaud your every success. There is no social obligation, no family tie, no professional connection that is worth the price of your inner peace. And most importantly of all, do not internalize his poison. Do not start to believe the subtle criticisms, the seeds of doubt he plants, or the insecurities he tries to project onto you. You know who you are. You are a child of the sun. You know your own worth. You know that you are here to create, to lead, and to love with a courageous heart, while he is trapped in the shallow, shadowy world of his own ego games. His opinion of you says absolutely everything about him, and it says nothing at all about you. On the highest spiritual level, this entire experience is a profound and powerful lesson. The universe is teaching you to no longer sacrifice your own brilliant light for the comfort of those who choose to live in darkness. You are developing muscles of energetic discernment and protection that will serve you for the rest of your magnificent life. You are discovering the crucial truth that being loved and respected by everyone is not only impossible, it is undesirable. Some people will inevitably resent you for the very qualities that make you a radiant and powerful leader. This man's anger, as deeply uncomfortable as it is a sacred catalyst. It is teaching you discernment. It is forcing you to become more selective about who you grant access to the throne room of your heart. It is compelling you to develop clearer boundaries and the unwavering ability to say no without a shred of guilt. It is preparing you to build a kingdom populated only by those who are worthy of your presence. And please never forget that there is a quiet cosmic justice always at work. While he is squandering his precious life force consumed by his anger and resentment toward you, you are using your energy to build beautiful things. While he is corroding from the inside out with the poison of his own envy, you are cultivating gardens of joy and creativity. While he is busy destroying himself with the hatred he refuses to release, you are, and you will continue to be flourishing. In the end, the most powerful and devastating response to his hidden anger is to simply and unapologetically continue being you, radiant, courageous, joyful, and utterly magnificent. In the days and weeks to come, pay closer attention than ever before to how your body responds when this man is near. Notice the subtle shift in your breathing, the tightening in your shoulders, the clenching in your stomach. These physical reactions are not a sign of weakness, my dear Leo. They are a sign of profound wisdom. Your body is the most loyal guardian of your kingdom, and it is trying to protect you from a very real energetic threat, even when your mind still wants to extend grace and benefit of the doubt. Honor these signs, trust your royal intuition, and do whatever is necessary to protect your energy and your peace. Whether this means reducing contact, establishing boundaries of fire and light, or banishing this energy from your life completely, know that you have divine permission to prioritize your own well-being above any and all social pressures to just get along. His anger is his poison to drink. Your responsibility is simply to ensure that he does not contaminate your chalice, dim your light, or ever make you question the glorious truth of your own worth. You are exactly as you were meant to be, and anyone who harbors anger against that fact is only revealing the poverty of their own spirit. Share your story of strength in the comments. You do not need to name names or reveal details. Simply acknowledge that you have seen the shadow and that you are choosing your light. Your courage will be a beacon for other Leo souls who are navigating this same challenge, helping them to find the strength to trust their own hearts. Subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom because protecting your radiant energy is a sacred practice, one that requires continuous nourishment and reinforcement. You will need these regular reminders that trusting your intuition is your superpower, not a flaw. You will need guidance on how to maintain your royal boundaries when the world pressures you to lower your drawbridge. Turn on your notifications so that you may receive these cosmic transmissions, each one designed to strengthen your resolve and to honor your choice to prioritize your peace. His anger belongs to him. Your light belongs to the world. Do not ever sacrifice one for the other again. Protect your kingdom. You are so worthy of it.